And we are back again with another epic episode of the LNR podcast. My name is SK, aka Uncle SK. Okay. So yeah, today I'm with my co-host Fiona Fifi Mantata. Hello Fifi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a while,
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. Mara, you've been doing good. You've been pushing.
Yeah.
Slack. I mean.
When's it? Yeah, there's inkinga zakhona,
Yeah,
but yeah,
inkinga zakhona.
we are good. We are back. We are excited. So yeah, this one, Fifi. This episode, I think it's supposed to be an eye opener to society, to the mothers, to the fathers, and to tell men to do better. Most importantly, it's for our guest. Esizombiza Angie.
Yeah.
Angel. That is not her real name. For just to protect her identity and stuff. But yeah, the platform today is dedicated to her to tell her story the way she wants to tell her story.
Yeah.
Angie kunjani?
Yeah, phela kunjani futhi?
Siyaphila. I understand most of the things or esizokhuluma ngazo namhlanje. You haven't spoken to a lot of people, and really appreciate you for coming through. But first of all, just this is a safe space. Feel free to say whatever you want to say, and feel free not to say izinto ofuna ubona ngathi this one I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we said, for her to protect her identity, we decided ukuthi singamvezi abe ghost lady for the day.
Ghost Lady Anonymous. How's about that?
Yeah. But yeah, before we get into your the story sanamhlanje, where are you from and how was your upbringing before the story? Ukhuliswa ubani ekhaya, uhlala nobani mawukhula?
Okay, u-Angel lona una-31, ngikhuliswe ugogo ozala umama.
Okay.
Endaweni elukwatini.
Okay.
Yes. So kwaya ngaze ngakhuliswa ubaba.
Yeah.
Yes. Uma wangishiya nogogo, ugogo yicomplain ozongithatha ngishiya nobaba.
Okay.
And then when you were living no gogo, bohlala nobani, because usually like in gogo, it's a lot of kids, it's a lot of, so bohlala nobani when you were living with ugogo.
It was mina, ugogo, usisi wami umdala, nabantwana bakamamncane.
Okay.
No malumis.
And your biological is just you and your sister.
Yes, there.
Yeah. No, I mean generally. Okay, ninga kindlini.
Besi-5 so manje si-4, omunye uhlala eTsakane, then ngapha la ngikhona manje eMalenhle ngihlala nosisi wami engimlamayo.
Okay.
Omunye umdala uhlala ePretoria.
And then at that time when you were living kagogo with your sister, where were the other siblings?
Lo ilast born vele behlala eTsakane, then the other one behlala kamamncane, same section but same place but another section.
Yes. Okay.
Ungavala uqinise kancane your anonymity thing is. But I just want us to get into it. So Mawukhula, how was your upbringing? How was it? Bekumnandi ekhaya. Take us through ukuthi bekunjani nje ekhaya Mawukhula.
No, gogo, it was not that nice because obviously umntwana uyamdinga umama.
Okay.
Then ugogo, she was complaining ukuthi uma wayengishile angathengi ukudla ngayenzi next. Of which nami ngibengibona, even though bengazi ukuthi ivelu akathengi, akayifaki imali and stuff, mara ispace samama bengisidinga. Yes. Bara usisi wami lo mdala beyanginakekela yena beyahlala alaceleni kwami.
Yeah.
And the complaining, like you're saying, ukuthi bigger complainer and you had to be moved. What was that about?
Ukuthi uma akakuthengi ukudla.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't anything that had to do with behavior or teenage and at what age do you then move from gogo?
Bengimncane because uma la ngibeke khona mangimbuza uthi I was 7 years.
Okay.
So the issue mawufika uhlala uthe mawumuva kugogo waya uyohlala nobaba.
Yes.
So mawuhlala nobaba awungikhumbuze bobu hlala nobaba and then nobani by that time.
ubaba wayehlala ayi-1
Yeah.
ubheka opposite ngizothini bebahlukaniswe yifence banogogo umamakhe.
Okay.
Then but isikhathi esiningi uma wangishaya kubaba straight bengiya kagogo ngale ngemuva.
Yeah.
Ugogo wayewuye ugogo no-auntie nabantwana baka-auntie nobaba omkhulu.
Yeah.
Oh, Mama, why are you not living with her? Is she working or what's the situation?
Umama angiyazi leyo mpendulo leyo. Yes, she was working but ngendlela engayo uma bekagembula. So indoda bekahlala naye bengenye indoda even though beyasamthathile usisi wami lo esengimlamayo bahlala kunguye uma ke leyo ndoda leyo. Yes.
So the issue with your father, we spoke about this mina nawe and the issue. I want you to take us through ukuthi even before kwenzeka lokho, how was the bekunjani ekhaya, bekuba njani, benganankinga, no complaints ngaleso sikhathi?
You mean kibo lo baba or?
Kubaba, yeah.
Yes, everything mangamukela ngezandla eziright kwakusharpu yonke into beyisharpu and ubaba bekumuntu engingakhalela kuye ngimthembile nani
Yeah.
because esikhathini esiningi bengihlala nginubaba. Yes.
Yeah. So kushintsha nini ke the situation ngokukhumbula kwakho? So just for people abangayazi the situation, what happened after isikhathi nje yini leyenzeka between wena nobaba?
Ubaba ngizothini bamandebele so bekubantu bomnyanya like bahamba imisebenzi nani so ubaba bengimkhonzile noma lukhona imoto bengihlala nginayo so angeke ngikhumbule kahle kodwa uma uthi wangimikisa lapha bengina 7 futhi between 7 and 8 years.
Yeah.
Ubaba waqala ukuthi angivalele endlini yakhe angithume ngathi izinto ezifana nogwayi makazongivalela endlini yakhe waqala wangithinta ilapha aqala khona ukulala nami mangikhala wathi ngingaqali ngitshela umuntu cause uzongishaya angilimaze and uye wangithatha wahamba nami emfuleni ukuthi vele uzongifaka lapha vele bekangishaya vele. Yes.
Okay. So what like I just want you to paint a picture of like what you would do because now you're saying begangshaya walala nami wangisemfuleni like bega ngifuna the like for you to explain it in kwenzeka so and then he did this and then you understand it's like wangithatha wanghambisa scared me and then did this to me or did this to me and then wangimikisa khona and said ngizokufaka la how did it happen, how did those events take place?
Okay kulo mfula besiya before like because bekumuntu obekathanda nokugubha umhlabathi sibuye senze njengoba ngisho ukuthi besebenza sokuthi isikhathi lesiningi so that day it happened ukuthi wangithatha wangivalela endlini yakhe ngithuma sort of ugwayi mangena wangivalela waqala wangibamba wangifaka isandla wasekuya nguye ukuthi angifake private party yakhe then mangithi ngiyakhala wangitshela ukuthi angikwazi ukumemeza and mind you lapha umuzi wakhe uyi-1 noma ngathi ngiyamemeza ngapha ngimuva kagogo ngebazi mangizwe. Yes.
So kokuqala uqale wafaka isandla. Is that the first day?
No, uthi makaceda kufaka isandla wase uyaqhubeka.
The same day, everything happened the same day.
Yes. And azange stophe lelo langa shuthi bese kuyinto engiphila nayo.
Okay.
Yes.
So bowuna ngakho, do you remember ukuthi mayiqala lento ukuthi bowuna ngakho?
I think I was between njoba ngisho ukuthi 7 and 8 angisakhumbuli kahle uma ngibuza uma uthi I was 7 years.
Do you remember the feeling you had in that? Did you know that what he was doing was wrong? Did you feel like, okay, but he's my dad, so he's my parent, he can do whatever? Or was there a sense of what just happened here? Because I think at 7, 8, you don't really know what sex is, you don't know what... Did you have a sense of, this is invasive, this is wrong, this is not supposed to be happening? Or was it ubaba?
Uqala benga-understand ukuthi wenzani makazongivalela aloku angibamba then makasaqala alala nami I felt that pain ukuthi no man this is wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like this is not right. Like we uyangilimaza manje.
So ukwenzeka kwalento ithatha isikhathi esinganani? How long did it take ukuthi lokho akuvalela lokwenza yonke lento leyo?
Uyenza isikhathi eside lo baba lo cause sometimes bekanokuthi mangihlele lapha gogogo nabanye abantwana angibize izifu sosebenza or kuyiwa kuma families wakhe saya up until I think I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
I fall pregnant mara ngalokuthi ngangisadomu abantu ebengithomene nabo bekubangani and kababa bengaphumbi uma ubuya esikolweni uhlale khona stela. So mangiphola pregnant nakhona bengila imbalenhle wafika wazongithatha ngathi uyangitshontsha mara lapho besekune step mother.
Okay.
Yes. Then masifika lena yena wathumela step mother la kuzoba khona nomsebenzi ezif thina sizobalandela late. Yes. So akekho umuntu ebengamtshela ngalento le because I was only one. Noma beyangangifonile khona still kababa and stuff. Abo auntie bazi bamfaka kukwekwezi. There was one day umntana step mother mdala kunami bekunomsebenzi futhi efamily yakhe lo baba thina sizomlandela lethu ubaba wanginika imali it was 5 rand wathi ngihambe ngiyodlala mangihambe ngiyodlala before ngifola pregnant mangihambe ngiyodlala wasuka wachubeka nalo mntana step mother wangibiza wathi why ubaba khangenza so ingoba mina ngasiye umntana wakhe na ungiphe i50 rand so kimi bekunzima ukuthi ngimtshele ukuthi nakini uye wayenza lento le because no one bazongibelieve. Mangifika wathi ngathi ngiyeza mangifika lo baba wathi ayasale sambini because isikhathi sishayile. Mina ngayithatha lento ngayitshela abosisi bakhe ubaba abo auntie ngifuna ukubona ukuthi bona bazothini azange bayenze next.
So batshela nge-situation yakho or are you telling ngalomntwana?
Yes.
But you are not saying ukuthi nami he did that. So you are doing it in order for you to see ukuthi bazoyenzani so that if they do act nawe ukhona ukuthi nami ukwenzile lokho.
Yes.
And when you told them bona bathini?
Bayimangaza nje azange basho next then umntwana wafike watshela ngathi mina akatshele uma mncane step mother. Umntwana ngazo umama kwamtshela mara ngikhumbula kahle there was a meeting abiza kibo mama igama laphuma kuma mncane wathi nothi yakhe indoda umntwana ufuna ukumoshela umshado. Just nje kanjalo.
Sure. So at 16 when you fall pregnant so yeah, Joanna.
Can I just backtrack a little
sure.
bit? So when so he did this, you lived with him, he did this, you were 7, 8,
yes.
right? And then you move. At what age do you move? Did you live with him until you were 16 or you moved between then and then wakulanda so na 16?
I think I was 15 years old nakhona ukuze ngisuke khona ukuthi bese ngicommitted society because uthi makathatha lo mfazi wazongitshela ukuthi mina ngiveza ndleba ngisuye umntanakhe wayena umhlophe mina ngimnyama. And sonke lesikhathi lo baba bengihamba naye emsebenzini yakibo nani bekakungakusho lokho. Yes.
Okay. So uze wena uhambe it's because now he has a wife. So stepmother sifikile.
No, reason ukuthi ngihambe ukuthi amagama bebasawakhuluma lapha kulamuzi wayesebhlungu and uma bengamtholi. Then u-auntie wafaka uma kukwekwezi kulehlelo asifunisane ila abamthola khona uma usisi wami wangilanda ke sekangilanda eBitali sekezwe nokuthi yini izinto engizama ukuzenza.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. So when you khona la ngilahlekele khona at 16 uhamba ekhaya already so pregnant or kube khona nje isimo sokuthi niphinde ndibane nobaba
ila afika khona noma mncane angazi o bebafuna ukuthi ngizobavakashela kanjani kwakuyo first uma mncane na wathi makafika wangithatha uma igama lisho ukuthi nedlo umntwana mangakhulelwa nizombona iplan because seniyayithathela manje and beningamfuni igama laphuma kuStemara ukuthi sizosikhiphisisa isisu. Then mangifika le kwenzeka the very same thing ukuthi uma mncane uyahamba uya le efamily nababa ilapho mina ngaqala ngalala khona wangiphinda futhi obaba ngalala naye. Then ngahlala there was one guy ebengimbonile ngalala naye kayi1 umfana into ayisho kimi ukuthi ucela ukuthi ngiphathe kahle umntana wakhe but after isikhashanyana mara the more isikhathi sihlala sihamba ngiyabona ukuthi hayi man kunokwenzeka ukuthi maybe lo mntwana enginaye owalo baba. Yes.
ngalendlela kushuthi ngalendlela obuka ngayo i-situation beyenzeka ngakhona.
Yes nokuthi ngibheke ukuthi okay lo mfana unjani lo mntwana ufana nami exactly. Exactly.
So at that time you move, you go
la kuma embalenhle
guma angithi.
Yes.
And then you move to and then they come and they fetch you.
Yes.
You go live with him and the step
bengifana
mom.
nokuthi ngovakasha.
So you're vakasha manje.
Yes.
This guy ohlangana naye uhlala
uhlala eBitali naye.
where you are visiting or la
Yes.
uhlala khona la uvakashe khona.
No uthi ngizothini uhlala eBhetali mara mina mangivakashe kubaba mangiphuma ngahlangana naye lo mfana kwaba into yawansi nje.
Okay. So you were you were where your dad is. You were by your
Yes.
dad's house when this happened. Okay. And then it happens once.
Yes ukuthi ngibe nalo mfana kayi1.
And then you fall pregnant. Well, you don't.
No, I didn't know ukuthi kwenzakalani because
kwenzakalani,
ngatshelwa
yeah.
sengitshela abantu ukuthi batshela uma ukuthi mina ngipregnant. Umama wangibuza ngizothini I was confused obengidonyana na ngizosho njalo.
Yeah.
Cause ngafika mina and makazo ngibuza lezi zinto zama periods and stuff akusizinto ebengiyinaka ngathi angazi. Wangibuza uma ukuthi ubani ngathi mina umunye umfana then saya kulowo muntu loyo. Mana demo isikhathi sihamba ngibona singakhula phela. Sengiyabona ukuthi no man it may happen ukuthi umntwana lo owalo baba and umntwana uyakhula.
Manya kulo mfana nenzani niyobikisisa.
Samix umntwana. Sangathola
Bese
yena
kaveli.
sothola ifamily yes cause uma umunye umuntu bekangahlali nathi uma ke uyagembula uyathwasa wenza nje lezo zinto engisheno sesomle ngimlamayo.
But nihlala kakhe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now you are living with your mom,
Nomntanami
nomntwana
sisi
wakho
wami.
and your sister. And umntwana senimikisa sekakhona.
Yes.
Nimikisa
Kulowo muzi.
ku this guy's house.
So ubaba uthini ngaleso sikhathi?
Yeah.
Ubaba uzala mina Roma.
Ubaba uzala wena uthini when you fall pregnant
Azange
kuleyo situation nje?
Angikhumbuli ukuthi wathini or watshela or kanjani because ngikhumbula it was 2010 ngisePitori kuseswami omdala. Into engayenza ngamfonela ngamtshela nje ukuthi happy Father's Day. Wangitshela nje ukuthi ngitshela uma ke angifunele ubaba mina kasuye ubaba that was the last day ngimbona up until ngizohlangana naye emsebenzini asabiza abantu athi ngimntanakhe but ngaphakathi bengazi ukuthi lo baba ngimfuni. I tried izinto eziningi kunyanyani and stuff. Ukuthi bangisize then inyanyani yathi inkosi niye kulo baba ngibatshela ukuthi mina sengiva kunyanyani ngathi angengizengile lapho. Yes.
So shooting ngamanye amazwi wayekuphika but masakubona at the later stage sekathi wena umntanakhe
Makangekho duze nefamily yakhe yes ngisho njalo.
Oh okay. Why do you think bekenza kanjalo? Yeah, now that you've grown, do you think ukuthi bekenza kanjalo because uyazi ukuthi bekenzani? Then mhlambe it was an escape for him to say no, you are not my daughter.
No, I think yena ubaba uyazi ukuthi nguye umntanakhe just ukuthi angazi izinto bebamfaka kuzona khaya kibo or wayezama ukuwina lo yamfazi ngami I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yes. Yena uyitshela ukuthi lento bekayenza izoslide kanjalo ngizothula nayo angazi.
Sure. But him denying you as a daughter, how did that make you feel?
Ingilimazile kakhulu because izinto zami zimile kunalento linginale believe ukuthi since ayindebele bengimele ngithombe nami. Yes. So njengoba ngathembanga yes instead wathombisa umntana lo mama. Mina zange ngithombise.
The story with umntwana lo mama, it just ended at that. Ukuthi umama wakhe wathi ufuna kummoshela umuzi. And that was it kwaqhubeka kwaphilwa.
Yes, angazi ukuthi kwaphelela laphi le cause bengazange ngisaya nabo ema meeting lawo. Angazi ukuthi kwaphelela laphi. Mina sengiphila leyo mpilo ukuthi kose seyinyangeni so confirm ukuthi nguye umntana lo baba noma kusuye na. Igama lisho masiphuma bekune toll gate or something isibuya ekrili or lesli lapho somewhere. Bathi uyi umntana mlo netkosa ayocelwa kahle kuba kumkhulu wakhe uzala uma. Yiwo nje amagama ayiwasho. So indlela engibona ukuthi lapha bayiphelelisa ngalo le case lalo baba ukuthi lo mntwana wafola pregnant. Angazi ukuthi ufola pregnant isisu sabani. So waphose ukuthi asikhiphe lo mntwana. Mina ngangizama ukumtshela lo baba loyo futhi nakhona zange bangilaleli. Andesi2 lo baba siphikayo yimi first born bese kuba umfana.
So as ukhula I just want to go back a bit. As ukhula uthini kuwe because I understand at first mawusase mncane bekathembisa ukuthi uzokulimaza uzokwenzana but as ukhula uthini kuwe does he still say the same things or mhlambe say the threats are changing now bekathini kuwe or utshela ukuthi this is supposed to happen? I'm just trying to
or
find
when
out.
usasaba from back then what he said.
njengoba ngishilo before bengishaya lo baba vele bengimsaba bekumuntu osabekayo nasekhaya bebathi makukhulume yena kuzwakale vele.
Yeah.
So he was abusive, kahle kahle.
I can say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, when you say into efana naleyo, it's unfortunate because your story as ngishilo ukuthi we need to kunabanye abantu othola ukuthi some things ezifana nalezi zenzekile kubo but they never spoke about them. A lot of women othola ukuthi bayakhuluma ukuthi this happened to me, but mawukhuluma ngokuthi bebamsaba. There was this lady I spoke to this other time ukuthi sometimes kuba ilabantu ukuthi they are always trusted egu family and they uthola ukuthi mhlawumbe umalume owaziwayo ukuthi makhona yena makhulume yena vele hayi. So this lady wayengichazela, I just want to go through the story less ukuthi wayengichazela ukuthi wonke umuntu bekamsaba ngaleso sikhathi, but because she knew ukuthi kena umenzani or umenzeni, she was like rebellious towards
him.
Yeah. Everyone at some stage besabona
couldn't understand.
but bekabona ukuthi why ngathi we understand. So but yeah, sorry ukuphuma kancane.
I also think ukuthi, like on your point, I also think ukuthi it's what we always reiterating ukuthi when you study the behavior of abusers, they try and like was isolate you, number one. So it's that thing ukuthi ngihlala kakhe akafuni ukuthi ngiphume, akafuni ukuthi ngihambe. Even if he does whatever, sihlala sobayi two, no one knows. Even if I can scream kule khayibo, it's kungale, they can't hear me. Yes, and ukuthi the fact that he doesn't want you to go out and interact with other kids ube nabangani and whatnot because uyasaba ukuthi uzofika ukhulume, right? Also what they do, they instill this fear yokuthi bona bayasajwa and whatnot, but they also in the same level are so manipulative to gain the trust of the people around them that they make you feel like if I say anything,
they'll believe him.
They will not believe.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, Guti. You can't even speak, even when it has happened to somebody else. Nimsaba in such a way that you and the other, I'll say your sister, your stepsister, you can't even say sizokhuluma sobayi two because the consequence is still we are sajwa. And then again, he gains the trust of the other people, the stepmom, so much so that she can say, no, this didn't happen. When you go and you tell your aunts, nothing is done because we are sajwa. So that's just the behavior of abusers, and it's so unfortunate that when as I don't want to say the victim, but you as the receiver on the other end, you end up being so crippled and so fearful, but you are the one who was wronged. You understand? Yes. So it's
sure
general pattern.
So how is your relationship with your father now?
Ayikho sharp vele since ngamduba lapho cause wathi uyenze ama DNA test wathola ukuthi yena kananzalo ngathi mina equation yami ukuthi wenza kanjani mina ngingekho cause they were supposed ukuthi bathathe sample kimi nalapho bahlanganise wathi ayikho into asezoyikhuluma then ngaphuma kuye since from there ngizange ngimbone lo baba.
When you okay, so he said that, was that before uthi wena senihlangana emsebenzini and he's claiming you as his child, or was that after?
It was before 2010 and then mina emsebenzini ngiqale 2012.
So he said all of that, but then later on makahlangana nawe he says this is my child.
Yes.
So clearly there were no tests done. Kahle.
Sure. When you I understand you finally told your family members recently.
Yes.
When you told your mother about this situation, what you know, ma'am?
Since bengakatsheli umuntu last year nge-18 July bengine family meeting ngagogo khona inhlaza yakhe then yabanjwa ke meeting ngabatshela nokuthi nami ngine something ngifuna ukutshela yona. Gogo wena ngithatha ngathi iphutha lakho. Nawe manje ngathatha ngathi iphutha lakho cause if ukuthi wena gogo azange utshela uma ukuthi abuya ngithathe and stuff ngabe azange kwenzeke lokho. Mana nawe ngabe bongisupport ngabe azange kwenzeke lokho. Ngase ngabatshela ukuthi mina since ngahlala nalo baba wacala ukwenza so wonke umuntu wamangala even usisi wami wathi uma-ke bengithuleleni sonke le ndaba sonke lesikhathi ngathi mina akekho umuntu ebengamtshela cause akekho umuntu engangikholwa ma wena bongekho eduze kwami akekho umuntu ebengakhalela kuye. Yes.
And how did it make them feel? How the atmosphere mawubatshela?
Baswaba especially usisi wami cause ngikhonzile lo ngimlamayo wayezobuhlungu kakhulu. Ugogo yena angimazi ukuthi uyapretend and stuff mara babuza ubuhlungu, I don't wanna lie. So babuza ukuthi cause last point nasekhaya bekhona babuza ukuthi so ngiyenza njani ngale ndaba ngathi mina bengicabanga ukuthi ngimiyeke lo baba cause ukumophisa kwami ngisezohamba ama-case and stuff. Yes. Mara into engazange ngize ngithole i-counselling and isikhathi siyahamba umntanami uyakhula.
Yeah.
When you tell them in this meeting, are you also saying ukuthi I also think ukuthi this child might be his?
Yes,
And bona bayibona kanjani?
bathuka bamangala then ngabatshela ukuthi ngicela ukuthi since asesemncane bangamtsheli bangasho next. Yena usenokubuza ukuthi mama kanti ubaba mina wayewangilahla ngithi hayi uzombona ngelinye ilanga. Ngabatshela ukuthi ngicela nethi bangasho next cause uyabona ama-teenager manje ukuthi kanjani. Yes, ngizomtshela mina when the time is right.
Unangakhi manje?
He's 14 years.
He's 14 years. Your son
Yes.
son is 14 years. And that lomfana loyana.
Since okay umfana sathi masifika sathola ifamily yakhe vele ifamily yakhe beyingangazi nami ngingabazi. Then bathi bazositshela i-feedback umuntu makabuya umfana. Mara uma beke bafonela batshela ukuthi umntwana uyagula. Bathi simlethe kamtshele ngala futhi angazori kwafika or ingathi umntwana makayi lapha. Ngaba nalento ukuthi umntwana mangafika shoni lapha ngiyuthini.
Sure.
So he's never been to. So for him, there's never been a father. He's never seen that guy. Okay.
Sure. So, okay, the next question, I don't know if I normally speak to my woman about such situations. These things we might not understand ukuthi ziba affecta kanjani abantu abandlule kuzo yabona, but uthola ukuthi their behavior at some stage it creeps in, it shows ukuthi something ikhona ezusho ukuthi you've never received any counseling. You've never spoken to anyone like now you just spoke to or told your family members recently. How has that affected your relationship with men in general? Boyfriends, has that situation affected you in any way or in any way ubona ngayo abantu besilisa?
Yeah, yang affects kakhulu cause ngine-anger. Yes, ngisheshe ngihluthukele or ngithi mangihleli nabo or makose ukuthi ngilale kubuye yonke lento leyo bese ngithi ayazini angeke ngikhona. Yes.
When you have to have sex with them, so it always triggers you in a way.
Kakhulu.
Sure. After your 14-year-old, bakhona abanye abantwana?
Yes, I have a daughter.
Yeah.
9 years.
Before we go to that, how has that affected you generally, just as a person?
Yeah.
So looking at it just outside of relationship, I was speaking to somebody just yesterday. We're talking about how, so I had a attempted hijacking thing. I'm like, now when I have to park the car or mangfike gating, magmeleng pumeng vuli gate, I have a bit of a panic. You understand? So there's a difference between being aware of your environment, which is nyape, good okay, motos konana. Everyone generally does that to be safe. But the sense of anxiety that I have, magmeleng pume motwen, I identify it comes from what has happened, Yes. So for me, outside of just relationships, how has this how has this affected you, Nje? Just you as a person generally? Because from what I understand also, it's healing, even if you haven't received counseling, healing of such situations is never linear. It's never like this. You find yourself, even if it might have happened once, or even if it was an attempted, because that's also another thing that people don't understand, is that when somebody even tries to, even if they didn't rape you. But there's always that. And uthola ukuthi maybe it happened long ago, but
you still have
10
those
years
traumas.
later, one day you just wake up and you cry, you know? So I just want to know, like, how has it affected you, generally, just you personally?
Yeah, ngimazile this thing kakhulu because mangicabanga ukuthi ngabe nguphi ngesikolo maybe ngabe sengisekudeni ngizothi iyangilimaza lento kakhulu even now iyangilimaza because nginokuhlala ngicabange and kusho ukuthi bathi i-rape or usually kayi-one meaning kuna someone uzophinda ku-rape because there's a neighbor yasekhaya lamba lenhle ike yangitshela athi since ungangithandi wena uyazi ukuthi la ngokuthola khona kuzokuripha so kusho ukuthi ngayibuza ukuthi kusho ukuthi into engidalelwe yona leyo or kanjani.
Sure.
Yeah, it's very painful and I can feel your pain more especially because it's your own biological father.
Yes.
And he has never accounted just to come back and say, I know what I did was wrong.
And in fact, instead of accounting, he's saying my solution is to deny you completely.
You understand? So I don't know what we can do, but we need to try with you. And thank you so much for Uguti ube brave and be able to tell your story. Angeke size only when sizosiza nabanye abantu ukuthi because sometimes izinto ezinje most people don't talk about them and you're not alone. And what happened to you is very traumatic and it wasn't supposed to happen. It's a very painful thing and you need professional help because you were for a longest time you were I would say dying inside without saying anything to anyone. And I'm glad you finally spoke to your family members from Esaitin Labo Mama just to say this happened to me. And yeah, I don't know if maybe one day you'll get strength to talk up or to talk to him or to go to open a case. I understand you said you don't wanna do that, to open a case.
Yeah,
because it's tricky. I understand where you are. More especially, it's tricky because now you have to go through the whole thing, have to explain. You know how courts are.
Also, like it's like you're being victimized again. I think that's the one thing that irritates me rather, and annoys me about Ama rape cases is that after you have been wronged, you have to go again and fight and prove that you have been wronged. And when you get there, they ask you ridiculous questions. Exactly. And now you have to relive what you have went through, but not only relive it, you are defending yourself like
as if you are
wrong. Yes. And I don't understand. I really don't understand it because I really feel like there's no other crime where the victim is victimized again in court without doing anything. Because for me, if it's crime, you did something, then yes, we question you and you have to defend yourself. But here, I didn't commit anything. I was wronged. My space was invaded. Why do I have to defend myself? So I still struggle with the concept of that, and I completely understand why a lot of women don't want to open cases. I really, really do understand. And yeah, so for me, I wanted to ask Guti, the reason why you don't want to open a case, is it just that? Is it the fact that you just don't want to be in court and hamper my case and whatnot? Or is there a reason beyond that?
No, there's no reason. Is that kusi angeke nje ngikhona ukuthi njalo uhamba ama-court because bazongibuza obvious nabuthi bengihleleleni so kulesikhathi nje bangichaza ukuthi bekangisabisa lo muntu lo and bengekho umuntu engizokhuluma naye. Yes.
Yeah. Your story,
mara kulento le oqeda ukisho ukuthi uyafisa ukuthi ngimconfront, it won't be easy. Into mina bengiplanile ukuthi one of the good thing ngiyafuna ukuthi ngidlule ngakakhe angibone ukuthi ngingakanani ngisesekhona mara ngingangeni because kuyobuya lento ukuthi angisuye umntana wakhe ngina kanjani la after ukuthi lento ayenza kusho ukuthi yena bekayitika ngami or beka mosha isikhathi sami asaselinda umfazi wakhe uri inangazi. I understand.
bro.
Because that's also another thing that I'm grasping from your story, hence why I wanted to get at the beginning I said like just explain the events, Kanje, because in my head I'm like, okay, so you did what you did with me when you needed to, and then you found a wife and you found it fit to say it's fine, hamba manje. But then also beyond that, for me it's not even a matter of, it's also not even just a matter of him finding a wife. It's that you're a monster. You are a
Yes.
monster.
Truth
That's
is
just
that
who
you are
you
a-
are.
At
Because
8 years
even
old, bro.
beyond, but also even beyond you finding a wife, you still went and raped the
Done.
wife's daughter.
Yes.
And then you still came for me again. Like, it's not even a matter of, yeah, okay, but Kubi's cutting now or whatnot. It's just, you are just an awful human being.
Yeah.
That's just what you are, you know? Because I feel like abantu abanjalo, they, I think there's a psychological issue with them, because for me it could be a power thing. It's not just an act thing.
Yes.
It's not just I am sleeping with you. There's a sense of power, of I am in control,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm your wife, there's no sense of power there.
Yeah.
You're my wife. You want to do this, I want to do this. So I still need to feed that. So hence I'm saying you're a monster. Like, you're a monster, because when you want to feed this thing that you have, or that you
Yeah.
want, or this power, or this ego, or whatever it is, and you prey on little kids.
Yeah, it's very bad. It's what I always it shouldn't be protect your kids, protect. In most cases, as much as we can say men must stop situations like these.
Yeah.
So with this podcast, more especially, as I said earlier, it's just to open amehlo society more than anything, just to say even your own father can do
That's true.
evil things like that.
And Angel, for me, like when you look at your life, né, when you picture your life had this not happened,
Yeah.
how would it have turned out to be? Like, when you think of how, you know how when we grow up as kids, we all have like this, oh, I want this, I want that, I
Dreams.
want what,
Yeah.
I have dreams. So for me, it's if that hadn't happened to you, how do you think you would have turned out? Because I feel like the way that we grow up and the traumas that we have really shape us in you know. So I usually say to I remember saying to my friend, I feel like my daughter is me before life happened.
Yeah.
Sure.
You understand? Like,
Sure.
she, like, I feel like when I look at her, I can identify that you are the purest version of me, and I like this version that I could have been, but because of life happening,
Yeah.
I couldn't be that. So for me, it alters, like, every traumatic thing that you go through alters who you are. So I just want to know, from your side, when you think about yourself, had this not happened, because you're saying, maybe having fundile beyond and whatnot, but how do you think life would have turned out?
Ya kona ngabe ngizothini ngabe ngibeke ekudeni impilo. Even though bengizoba nayo umntwana kodwa bengeke kufane
Yeah.
namanje.
Yes.
Cause mina I can say ngihlakaniphile ngendlela engizazi ngayo.
Yeah.
Kodwa this thing iyangilimaza mani kakhulu. Cause ngiphinde ngizibone ngathi ngi-useless, cause abantu abaningi banokubuza ukuthi why don't you upgrade? Uyenze something. Kodwa bangiphinde ngicabanga ukuthi lo mntwana ngiwenza njani ngayo? Cause ubheke mina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. I wish you can get strength and onke lama thoughts of looking at yourself and feeling like you're not worth certain things asuke, because as you show uhlakaniphile. I know you and I understand the person that you are, and anything ofuna ukuba yiyo uzoba yiyo, regardless of what you went through.
Happened,
But
yeah.
the first thing now, I think you for your own self, for your kids also, I think you need to get counseling. That's the first thing that we need to try. See Yenze. We'll be on board with you, Kulentole, and we will keep as I said, this is a safe space. will keep you anonymous, but will push as much as possible for you to get the ball rolling, to get the necessary help that you need. But thank you so much for your story. It's very touching, and I hope a lot of people will learn from it. A lot of people will Angel, as we call you, you are very brave for you to come and speak about your issue, for you to be standing and to be yabona lento yiyo namhlanje, to be that, to not have committed suicide or whatever. You are strong to have gone through yonke these traumatic things. Some people wouldn't have survived that, but you are strong, and we are on board as the Eleanor podcast. We are on board. We will try and get the necessary help for you. And so how about legend sisonke, you are not alone. That's basically what I'm trying to say to you. You are not alone. Sisonke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I feel like just in closing, I'm thinking we're closing now.
Yeah.
For me, it's just segues. It's like, remember that it's not your fault.
Yeah.
This is somebody else that invaded your space, and unfortunately, that then alters your life the way you would have wanted it to be. But as we are talking about your story and unfolding it, I'm actually reminded of a scripture in the Bible that says all things work together for good. And for me, it is always no matter what happens, no matter what you go through, God says at the end of it all things will work together. Even if even if this can happen to you, at the end of the day, He carves it so that it works together for you. And I think part of your life now is a testament to that, as SK is saying, that you're still here. The fact that you're still here is a testimony enough for somebody to go through that multiple times, for somebody to ahlale nawe and rape you for that long, and you still have the courage to wake up and make something of yourself. Doesn't matter whether school is finished or school is not finished or whatever, but the fact that you are here, the fact that you wake up every day and you can still do life, the fact that you can still be there for your kids, the fact that they have grown so much. That's why I was so surprised. You have I think I asked you twice, because you have a 14-year-old, because the fact that you can even raise a child to be that age, it's not easy.
Yes.
Generally, it's not easy even without going through anything.
Yeah.
But with what you have went through, it's even extraordinary. So for me, I look at your life and I say, this is a testimony, the fact that you're alive. And like SK is saying, here on the Eleanor podcast, we are here to put these stories forward for somebody else to see out there. If there's a little girl that's going through that, they can know that they can get help, they can know that they can talk about their story. Even if they can't talk about it because they're not ready to talk about it, but at least they can see that there's someone who's still alive, who survived, who lived. I can also do it. You're giving people strength and hope, and I really recommend you for that. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is that it was never your fault. It's never your fault.
Angel, thank you so much. You're a conqueror. You are.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but okugcina ngifuna ukusho ukuthi abazali mabayeke ukulahla abantu ababo noma isimo sinjani. Ngiwa naye uvuke naye. And enye into ama-families mawayeke ukuvikela umuntu owenza into wrong bathi loyo angeke aza kwenze lo. Awumazi lo muntu ebunyameni ukuthi unjani uyenza kanjani. Yes, siyakhula naku ngikhulile nalento le. Even though ingandluli kodwa at least sengiyakhona ukuyishare nasamanye ukuthi this thing iyenzeka and iyenzeka kuma-families. Yes.
And let them be held accountable for what they did. Like, I mean, for me, it's if you just had one person, I feel like all you needed was just one adult to say, I believe you.
Yes.
And from there, the ball would roll. And maybe it wouldn't have even happened and taken place so many multiple times because somebody would have believed you. And he also would have known that somebody knows. So even if he wanted to do it again, he wouldn't have had the power to do it again because somebody else sekayazi. So people are watching because, like I said, they'll isolate you because they don't want to be exposed.
Yeah.
But when one person, at least one person, believes,
Can't believe it.
Then it's
then
enough.
it's enough. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through or for watching the podcast. And yeah, speak up, man. Bafowethu, let's do
Yeah.
better. Let's do better. That's all I can say. Let's do better. Mama, let's protect our kids. Let's protect our kids from the fathers, the stepfathers. Let's protect them as much as possible. But man, bengeke kudingeka ukuthi protectwe ingane
Yes.
if besenza kangcono. So let's just do better as men. Kuba einganeni zethu, our step kids, our women, let's just do better.
Yeah.
That's not too much to ask. Let's just do better. It's been the LNR podcast. Thank you so much for watching us. Please like, subscribe, speak up. Peace.
We're out.